Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is one that I'm really excited to film for you guys because today's video is going to be another one of my first impression foundation review videos, and today's foundation is this one right here. This is what the packaging looks like. It is so beautiful. This is called the Tarte High Performance Naturals Face Tape Foundation. So I've done a few first impressions, so I'll leave them all down below in the description bar, but I picked up two different shades. I picked up the shades 27S Light Medium Sand and 35G Medium Golden. So I'm really excited to try these ones out. If you're curious to see how it goes, then just continue watching. So here's a close-up of the packaging. As you can see, it's really beautiful. It comes in this purple, pink, and lavender box. And then on the top, it shows the shade name. So once again, I picked up 27S Light Medium Sand and 35G Medium Golden. So that's what the packaging looks like. And then the sides of the packaging look like this. So on one side it says at Tarte Cosmetics #ShapeTapeNation, and it's got the website on the side. And then on the other side of the box it says created for you by you. It says check all that apply. So it's ticked full coverage, it's ticked flawless natural matte finish, and it's ticked infinite likes. That is really cute. So let's open this up and look at the packaging. So here's what the bottle looks like. I think it is so beautiful. I love how it's really clean, really classy, really chic. It's got a translucent center so you can see how much product you've got left in it. I love the gold cap with the purple lavender striping through it. It is so beautiful. So here's the two shades. This one here is 27S Light Medium Sand, and this one here is 35G. It also tells you the shade names on the bottom, which is really nice. So they actually look very, very similar. I'm not sure which one I'll be, so let's go right ahead and swatch them on my cheek. So I'm going to first start by just pinning my fringe out of my face. And then I'm going to pop on some primer to prep my skin. So I'm going to use the exact same combo as I did in my Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation First Impression, which I'll leave up here if you guys haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to try this one out again. So the first one is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. As you can see, I've actually been playing with this one quite a bit, so I've really been enjoying this one. I feel like I know it quite well. So what I like to do is just take my finger into the pot, grab quite a bit of it. I actually really like to warm it up within my fingers. As you can see, this is what the texture looks like. It kind of looks like a whipped mousse. It's actually really, really nice and soft. So I like to kind of press that straight into the area that I have the largest pores. So normally around the corners of my nose, right through the center of my brows, and around my chin. And then I take my second primer, which is this one right here. This is the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer. It's just a deluxe sample. This is what the texture looks like. So you can see it's much more of like a silicone-based gel. I rub that between my hands and I pop it everywhere else. Okay, so next moving on to the foundation, I want to go right ahead and swatch the two shades that I have. So starting off with 27S Light Medium Sand. This is what the packaging looks like. It comes with a pump, which I really appreciate. I'm going to go right ahead and pump some out on my hand. That looks like a pretty good color so far. And then I'm going to do the same thing for 35G Medium Golden. Okay, so here's what they look like swatched out on my hand. This one right here is 27S Light Medium Sand, and this one here is 35G Medium Golden. As you can see swatched out on my hand, they do look a little bit different, but they're pretty close, seeing as they're actually not like 27 and 28. But I feel like if anything, I'm probably going to be closest to the lighter one, but if I need to, I can mix in the darker one. So let's go right ahead and apply 27S Light Medium Sand onto my skin. So just like always, I want to try out two different methods of application. So I'm going to do this half of my face with a brush and then this half of my face with a sponge. So I'm going to go right ahead and just take a pump of the foundation on the back of my hand. This is approximately how much a pump is. As you can see, it's actually quite runny for a full coverage foundation, so that actually excites me. I like a slightly runnier consistency. Let's go right ahead and start off with a brush. So this foundation brush I've used once before. This is the Tarte Airbrush Finish Foundation Brush. Take it straight into the foundation. And I'm going to go right ahead and start applying that straight to this side of my face. So here's what the skin looks like. I actually ended up using that entire full pump on this half of my face. It looked really, really smooth, really, really even, but I would say by no means is it full coverage. I would definitely say, as you can see, I've got some scarring and kind of active breakouts right here. Along my cheek, I've got more scarring. You can see it definitely didn't cover, but I would say if anything, I am really, really looking forward to how this will look up when it builds, because it's looking incredibly smooth and just flawless. So I'm gonna go right ahead and maybe do the other half with a sponge first, and then we'll do a second layer and build it up. So once again, I'm going to take another whole pump, and then I'm going to grab my Dose of Colors Seamless Beauty Sponge, tap that straight into the product, and apply that onto this cheek. Okay, so here's what the skin is looking like when I used one pump on each half of my face. I would say this side here that I use a sponge is maybe a tiny, teeny little bit more glowier, but I would say also has a little bit less coverage, especially right here where you can see I do have the scarring. For something that claims to be full coverage, I wouldn't say it's full coverage at all. I would say right now we're looking at a solid medium. You can see, especially on this active breakout, you can still kind of see the outline of it. But here on this side, I actually have worse scarring. Not so many active breakouts. I've got a couple, but mainly scarring is a little bit worse on this side, and you can see it's maybe the tiniest bit more coverage. I would say, however, even though I've said this like 3 times already, I'm really, really excited to do a second layer, only because if you see the texture of my skin, the texture looks so smooth and velvety and satiny. I would actually say so far, just off very, very, very first impressions, I might actually end up liking this one if it holds up a little bit more than I liked the Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation, due to the fact that this one looks really, really smooth, and I can just tell this is going to layer really quickly. So let's go right ahead and do a second layer. So once again, I'm going to take a full pump of the foundation, grab my brush, tap it straight into the foundation again, and apply it straight onto the skin. You can actually tell straight away in this little patch where I've got fresh foundation, the bits that I've now dried have actually darkened a little bit. So you can see it actually does dry down maybe half a shade. I would actually say the dry down has stayed pretty true to its undertone, but so far I'm actually happy with the color that it's dried down to. So for the sponge, once again, taking another pump, dipping my sponge straight into the pump, and applying it straight to the skin. Okay, so there we go. There is 2 pumps of foundation on each half of my face. As you can see, they are both looking really smooth, really full coverage now. This blemish is still a little bit showing through, but really, I'd like to cover that with concealer rather than layer up the entire face to really conceal blemishes. But we are looking really smooth, really even. I want to zoom you guys in so you can have a good look. Okay, so I'm pushed all the way up close, so you can see this is the half with a brush. Really, really smooth, looks like skin. This is the side with a sponge. Once again, very flawless. Isn't emphasizing any texture, isn't sitting on top of the skin, feels like nothing. I would say the one difference between this one and the Amazonian Clay is at this point in time when I did 2 layers, I could feel it on the skin. This one I can't. It's a lot more light, it's a lot more airy. So let's go right ahead and apply some concealer. Okay, so for concealer, I've got these shades left to try out of my Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealers. So I've got the shades Fair Neutral, Light Neutral, and 34S Medium Sand in this hand. And then in the kits, I've got Fair and Light Neutral. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try one of the kits because I actually haven't tried one of these. But I do really want to try the sponge and this one here in the shade Fair. You guys, I cannot handle this. Look how cute the sponge is. It is so little and squishy. I'm obsessed. And then look at that little flamingo ornament. I cannot. Let's go right ahead and wet this sponge. So once again, I'm going to take the shade Fair and I'm popping a little bit right here. And then I'm going to take a little bit on my outer corners as well. I'm also going to take the tiniest bit right in the center of my forehead, down the center of the nose, and along the chin. And then I'm going to take the sponge. I just can't. It is so cute. As you can see, it's got 2 larger flat sides and the top of it is also flat as well. So I'm going to go right ahead and start blending out the concealer. I'm also going to take it on top of the eyelid as well. The one thing I can say is even though it's small and it fits underneath the eyes relatively nicely, I keep almost dropping it. Like you can see I'm barely able to hold on to it because my fingers keep slipping and I feel like I'm about to drop it. So I would say if only it was like the tiniest little bit bigger, it would be perfect. But I feel like I am literally about to drop it. And the one thing you can see is even though the flat side kind of ends here, you can see this under part right here is also touching my skin too. So I'd say it'd probably be a little bit more beneficial for my face shape if it was even the tiniest little bit bigger. Yeah, look, I'm literally, yeah, I dropped it. It is so hard to hold, but I feel like I can't really fault it because it's cute and it does work really nicely. But if you have got like massive ginormous fingers like I do, it is so hard to hold on to this tiny little bit because when it gets wet, it gets a little slippery and it's very easily droppable. So to set the under eye, I want to try out this powder here again. This is the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Tinted Press Finishing Powder in the shade Light. I actually used this one in my first impression of the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Waterproof Foundation, but I used this one on the face. So today I want to try this powder underneath the eyes and see how we go. So this is what the powder looks like. As you can see, it looks like a really good color for the under eye. So I said in that first impression that I wanted to try it out. So today we're going to do that. And to apply it, I'm going to use this brush here again. The one thing I can say about Tarte brushes is it says nowhere on the packaging what the name of the brush is. So I grabbed the box. This is the Bronze and Glow Contour Brush. So thankfully I kept the box or else I wouldn't know what brush this is. So I'm going to take the smaller side and dip it into the powder. I'm going to re-blend out any creasing underneath the eyes using that same sponge. And then I'm going to take that powder on that brush and just start setting the under eye. It does look really, really smoothing. Oh, I like that underneath the eyes. You can see it just really helped blur that whole under eye area. So I really like that. I'm going to also apply it around the center of the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, and around the mouth, everywhere we apply that concealer. And then for the rest of the face, I want to try out this powder right here. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Press Powder in the shade 29S Light Medium Sand. So we've set the center of our face. I want to use this everywhere else. As you can see, it is this really reflective purple packaging that says kind is the new pretty. And just like the lid of the foundation bottle, it's got that kind of purple striping through it. The bottom of the powder actually comes with a little sponge and it says hashtag Shape Tape Nation in the bottom of the compact. And then the powder itself looks like this. So you can see it once again has that imprint. I'm going to take the other side of the brush, the larger side, pat that straight into the powder. And I'm going to start setting my cheeks. Okay, so here's how the complexion has turned out like. It looks really good. It looks really smooth, really poreless, really flawless, and really even. So let's go right ahead, zoom you guys in, and we'll have a closer look. Okay, so I'm pushed up all the way up close to the camera so you can really see my skin. Here is how the skin is looking. This half was the side applied with a brush. And then this half here was applied with a sponge. So you can see now that both sides are on, they really don't look any different. You can't tell the difference in the coverage or the finish. It doesn't feel heavy. I'm very excited to see how this one wears. So once again, here's a good look at the skin. Okay, so the time is now 12:08 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm going to go right ahead and finish off the rest of my face. I'm going to be doing my second full face of Tarte Cosmetics because if I show you all the way over here, I've still got all of these completely unused products in this bag. So you can see it is completely full to the brim. And then I've also got this entire container that is also completely filled up with unused Tarte products. So you can see we've definitely got 2, maybe 3 more full faces of Tarte. And then I'll eventually be able to try out everything. So I'll see you guys in a few more hours. Hey guys, so I'm back for my first check-in. The time is now 3:16 p.m. So the makeup's been on for a little bit over 3 hours and I thought I would let you guys know how everything is holding up. It's only been 3 hours in, but everything is looking really, really smooth. So I feel like let's go right ahead, zoom you guys in, and we'll take a closer look. Okay, so I am pushed all the way up close so you can really see my skin. So once again, I'll give you a left to right. This side here was done with a brush, and then this side here was done with a sponge. So you can see they do look very, very similar. I wouldn't say there's any difference in the way that it's held up. I would say my skin looks really nice and smooth and even. It's not looking too textured. It's looking maybe the tiniest bit heavy right here, and right here. Pretty much everywhere that I put that pore filling primer, which I didn't notice last time. But apart from that, everything is looking really smooth. It hasn't patched off or flaked off. It's not looking separated or gunky anywhere. So I'm really excited. I'll see you guys in a few more hours. Hey guys, I'm back for my second check-in. The time is now 6:11 p.m. at night. So I thought it's been about 6 hours. Let's go right ahead and see how we're doing. Okay, so looking at my skin all the way up close, I've got to say we're actually looking pretty good. I would say the main things I'm starting to notice a bit of a difference is right in the center of the forehead, kind of around the nose, and then around the mouth. You can see if I turn my head back and forth, we're definitely looking a little bit glowier, a little bit more oily. I would still say we're looking pretty radiant, not super, super greasy, and it's not really breaking up anywhere, which is good. That's normally kind of the telltale of whether we're looking glowy or whether we're looking oily. The main thing I can say is in that same kind of T-zone area and around the nostrils, it's starting to look a little bit heavier and maybe a little bit more cakey. And I would also say I'm starting to notice, which I'm so sad I didn't check that first check-in to see how my nostrils were wearing, but right around here, you'll notice in every first impression, I always talk about the melting around my nostrils. It happens every single time I wear makeup, but it's actually not too bad. I'm just noticing a little bit of it now, so I wanted to make note of that. But let's zoom you guys in and you'll have a look all the way up close. Okay, so I am pushed all the way up close to the camera, so hopefully you can see my skin really well. As you can see, if I give you a close left and right, we're actually not looking all that different than we were last time. I would say if anything, as you can see, my forehead, my sides of my nose, and around my chin, we are looking a lot more glowier. But apart from that, one more really close left to right. I think we still look okay. So I'll see you guys in a few more hours. Oh my gosh, have you guys seen this? Do you also follow Nikki_makeup? Because she is one of my absolute favorite makeup artists on this planet. She is honestly a goddess. Look at this. Look. How is that even a thing? Are you kidding? Perfect doesn't even describe it. Look at it. Look. Oh, look at that. I dropped my phone as like a mic drop if I could, but I don't want to break it. Hey guys, I'm back for my final check-in. The time is now 9:16 p.m. at night. So I've had the foundation on for about 9¼ hours. So it's been a bit of a long one, but I'm excited to see how everything held up. Looking at everything all the way up close, I've got to say, after 9 hours of wear on an oily girl like me, we are actually looking pretty good. So I feel like the main differences are actually not very apparent, mainly just the fact that if I turn my head back and forth, you can see we're still a little bit glowier, maybe a little bit heavier, a little bit shinier everywhere, but really not too bad. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Okay, so once again, I am pushed all the way up close to the camera so you can really see my skin. I once again want to give you a really good left to right. So this side here was the side we applied with a brush, and then moving over to the side that we applied using the sponge. So you can see we're really not looking all that different from 3 hours ago. If anything, you can still see that we are looking a little bit shinier and maybe a little bit more textured in here. Same with against the nose and here where my pores are the largest and around the mouth as well. The one thing I can say is even though it has been 3 hours since the last time, we are not that much shinier. And the one thing I can say is I am surprised we are not separating at all. I'm not getting any separation around the chin, which I normally do. Maybe like the tiniest bit of heaviness and a little bit of cakiness and a little bit of texture, but it's mainly because I am dealing with a lot of cystic acne and breakouts around my chin that naturally if something is pushing through the surface, it might crack, but truly the makeup hasn't separated against it, which I am very surprised by. So it seems to be holding up really well. And speaking of holding up really well, even the area around my nostrils is actually not separating too bad at all. So really, for 9 hours of wear on a very oily girl like me, I am absolutely surprised that we are looking this good. I truly think if we was to blot and powder, I could probably get a couple more hours wear out of it. Once again, I'm going to give you a really close left to right so you can see my skin. So yeah guys, those are my first impressions on the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I was honestly very surprised with the longevity of this. I thought normally around that kind of 6-hour mark, when I start to notice quite a strong difference, when it hits 6 to 9 hours, things go downhill really quick, but I am very surprised to say it held up really well, and I still think I can get a few more hours wear out of it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've tried it down below in the comments, and let me know what other foundations you want me to do a full face first impression foundation review video on, and I will get to those as soon as I can. But until then, if you did enjoy this video, then you guys know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment, and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag it all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. Oh, I'm getting red. Whew, you guys, those close-ups, stressful. Also, let me know what? There's something that flew in my eye during that. I swear I felt it. Oh, that feeling is so, ow, satisfying.